are listening to the War Rapport.
Well, listen, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about the next position group that we want to preview. Let's talk about defensive backs, and this is a pretty crowded room as it pertains to cornerbacks and safeties. And I'm excited about this position group, guys. I really am. Let's take a look. Let's start with the cornerbacks first, shall we? Here they are. Mike G, you want to give us the birthday drum roll? All right, you're getting better. You're getting better and better.
I saw the lips flap on that
one. All right.
Only because it's my birthday. I promised myself I'd never do that again until you said that.
I figured it was your birthday. You would help us out.
Yeah, I'm going to retire it.
You should. All right. So returning at cornerback is A.D. Diamond, Nehemiah Pritchett, Jalen Simpson. But we got a lot of guys incoming this year for this team. Keontae Scott, who we did an interview with. You definitely want to check that out, guys. Austin Osbury, DJ James, the transfer from Oregon, J.D. Rhyme, Tony Hunley Jr., Mac McClinton. Also, those who we've lost, Drayshawn Miller, Ro Torrance, Roger McCreary, who went on off to the NFL draft, and Malcolm Askew. These are your cornerbacks, and we've been hearing really good things from this position group, guys. Some really solid things from them. Of course, been hearing great about Nehemiah Pritchett and Jalen Simpson, DJ James. We've been hearing a lot of good things from some of the younger guys. As Keontae Scott, he hasn't been here, 2 weeks, and they've been raving about him. Austin Osbury, J.D. Rhyme. Like, there's a lot of names to just choose from. Your thoughts, I'll start with you, Ike Jones, about this position group and just who are some guys that you're looking at to take the next step for this position group?
Yeah, I think, I've been hearing very good things. And again, shout out to our guy, Donovan Kaufman. We'll talk about safeties here in just a minute. He's been saying he gave us some good info on Jalen Simpson, man. And I've heard good things about the speed at which Jalen Simpson has gotten up to this year. He is, to me, one of the more sure tacklers in this defensive backfield. And if he's added the speed that everybody is raving about, I think that he's going to be potentially locked down at corner, right? Like, he's already got good or decent ball skills. I won't say great, but good ball skills, great tackling ability. And if he's adding some more speed on top of that, man, he could be a problem if he stays healthy this year. So he's a guy I'm definitely looking forward to seeing step up. We hear the term that somebody has a dog in them. And the guys who are new to this group that people keep saying, man, that guy has a dog in him, Keontae Scott, DJ James. Looking very much forward to seeing those guys operate in the orange and blue this year. Nehemiah Pritchett is kind of the mainstay of this group. He's probably had the most in-game snaps. And so I anticipate that he's going to be a key contributor. But as far as stepping up to the next level, I'm looking at Jalen Simpson, and I'm definitely looking forward to some of the guys that we've added.
B. Will, give me your thoughts on this position group. Who are you looking forward to seeing having a breakout year? Who are some, maybe even a young guy that you think may be in for a treat? We may be in for a treat to see them contribute.
I think Scott is going to lock down one of the spots based on what we've heard in camp so far. I think it's a safe bet that Jalen Simpson locks down the other outside corner spot, and those were our two main corners for the duration of the season, of course, assuming nobody gets injured. Now, slot, I think Pritchett probably lines up over slot. Don't ask me why, but that's what I think, because of, if you're going to be outside corner, the speed is the biggest difference maker with outside corner. You're going to be taking on the other team's fastest guy, not the quickest guy, which is who's usually in the slot, but their fastest guy. So I think that's why, if Jalen Simpson, as sure as he tackles, he's got to be somebody who can get to somebody and get them down and not just stick with them in cover and body. I don't know how good our DB's hands are. We did a lot of covering. We held people down, did some pass breakups. Roger McCreary had a couple INTs last year, but I don't really know what the ball skills are for the rest of our guys. And that's something I will have to see going forward and look at the coverage about. But I expect that Simpson and Scott will get those starting spots. There doesn't seem to be much adherence to who was here last year just because you were here last year at any position. And especially not, I don't expect that to be different for cornerback. So if Jalen Simpson has improved at a rate as what we're hearing, then yeah, I'm taking what I saw from him last year, adding in the improvement that people are talking about, and I'm saying that's got to be one of our starters. The same with Keontae Scott. And it's not that Nehemiah Pritchett is anything to sneeze at. I don't think any of our guys are, but I want to see if DJ James, Rhyme, and I'm not familiar with Hundley or McClinton's games, but I want to see how they fit in. I think there's going to be opportunities to use like 5 DBs at one time. And in certain situations with a really pass-heavy team like Mississippi State, I bet they get real exotic from Mississippi State. Just to throw some different things out there. They know. This staff was able to get the best of an Alabama offensive line last year. And that wasn't by chance or by accident. They had to leave some things in their pocket. And I expect them to bring out different things for the opponent, specifically for the opponent. And I expect at least 6 of these guys to get on the field and contribute consistently. We're not talking like, hey, get out there for a punt return. No, I expect to see at least 6 guys with, let's say, 50 snaps before Penn State. That's what I'm expecting. So, who exactly is going to be? Those are my 2 for the starters. Everything else will rotate, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a general. You're going to be used here for this guy because your skill set is going to be best for who we're about to play. But Scott, with the ball hawking skills, the ball skills that he has, there's no way you can leave him off the field, and that's why that's my the corner I'm watching the most.
So I'm hearing Keontae and Simpson on the ends.
That's what I feel.
And you got Pritchett as a slot.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Of course, I'm not Zach Etheridge, so you know.
So I know Simpson is of the returning guys. He graded out the highest last year in coverage. So it's good to hear that, according to Donovan Kaufman, who we'll talk about in a minute, he actually picked up some speed. He says he's been flying all over the field lately. So I'm excited to hear that because he was a sure tackler in open field, but definitely felt like he could have been a little bit faster last year. So to hear that he's worked on that is a good deal. Mike G, what are your thoughts about this? Who are you liking so far in terms of what you've been hearing in camp? What are your thoughts about the cornerback position?
First and foremost, I'm expecting big things from this group because I'm expecting shutouts. And you can't have a damn shutout unless your corners are shutting people down on the outside. So I expect Nehemiah Pritchett and Jalen Simpson to have monster seasons. These are guys that we've heard about repeatedly this offseason. Ike has talked about Jalen Simpson a lot in terms of how he's one of the surest tacklers on this team. Yeah, you're going to get some of that. It's my birthday, so I get to do what I want. Jalen Simpson is...
Only on your birthday, right?
Yeah, Jalen Simpson is a damn hitter. He's going to knock the hell out of somebody. Nehemiah Pritchett is burning mofos up on the field. Guys, this is I think this is a chance to be a really strong group. Now, outside of that, we've heard great things about DJ James. We've heard he's got that dog in him. So I expect to see some great things from him. The young guy, Austin Osbury, I don't know how much he plays this year, but this was a big flip for us from LSU in the offseason. So he'll be a contributor, I think, early in the season in some of these blowouts. If you can get these guys some on-the-field experience, you got 4 games, and you don't have to burn a year of eligibility for some of these guys. You can still get them in the games. So yeah, I like this group, man. I obviously, you miss Roger McCreary, but outside of that, I don't know how much of these other guys we miss.
Yeah, right? I think the thing about them is I was surprised that those guys didn't really get a chance to contribute or make the impact we was hoping they would make.
Yeah,
it's almost like
really played, so
the opposite of what's happening with the guys we brought in this year. Like as soon as Keontae Scott touched down, we've been hearing good things. We've been hearing good things about DJ James. And so it's been an opposite effect of last year. So, yeah, I agree, Mike. We really didn't hear much about anyone other than Roger McCreary. So I'm excited about the new crop of guys that's coming in. And we hoping that there's a new number one guy like we had last year.
Now look, Roger McCreary has huge shoes to fill. So that's not lost on me. I don't want to understate the impact that he had on this defense last year.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we have guys who can fill it, and maybe collectively. You know, he was a one-man shut down his side of the field kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have two guys who can, you know, hit and be sure tacklers and cover their guys, combined with what we think the pass rush is going to be, this defense has a chance to be really, really good.
Yeah.
So when a quarterback is throwing a ball while getting hit by Thanos or Eku or Derek Hall, I expect these guys to eat, man. So I expect to see some ducks flying out of that offensive backfield, picked off, return to the house, pick six, cross the goal line, dance with the cheerleaders, get the ball back to the offense, right? Like, that's what I want to see from these defensive backs this year. Smoke had some very timely pick sixes over the course of his career. I think these guys have the chance to make those same kinds of plays, but even at a higher level. This defense could be way better than it was last year. We've got dogs back there, man. Keontae Scott, you know, we interviewed him. I really like this kid. I think he'll contribute on special teams for sure this year. But, you know, special teams is where you kind of earn your stripes, man. If you're trying to get on the field, go out and make plays on special teams. I think Keontae Scott will play early, getting in on special teams. And in the event that we have attrition in that defensive backfield, you'll see him out there making plays as well. So I'm excited about this group. It feels like